that's something I've been starting to think about last year, and I just thought I'd give a little bit of an introduction to it, which is talk factories, which is generally how you start making material and how you produce a talk. How do you build a talk? So I wanted to kind of streamline my own processes for that a bit more, which I can't talk like fully about that right now because it would not fit in Lightning Talk. But generally, the high level overview is basically when you learn something, you can use slides as notes, or you can take notes and then turn them into slides. And that can be a process which gives you a lot of slides, and then you trim down later to peek ahead a little bit. And this can be 1 week. I've done this. Most of those slides are done in a day. Basically, I've played around with AI assistants, and while doing so, I was just doing slides. I was just screenshotting their output, or whatever I wanted to document in slides, I did in parallel. And so within a day, I had most of those slides done. This doesn't work for all talks, and if you want to talk about something specifically, then that's clear that you probably have a longer time frame, especially for conferences, right? It's like you don't need to prepare your talk in 1 week, and especially like for conferences, you need to start at some point to start working on your talk, and then it's more effective to do a little bit every day than to try to make it in a big push when you have time. You should probably then find out that you're on the flight to the conference starting to work on your talk. That has happened to some people. So back to our questions, like how and can we produce a talk? You basically start at your rough topic, right? The cornerstone of your talk. That's what you should think about. How is it shaped, and start with a rough shape. Maybe the outline already. Some people give outlines as part of the slide titles. Like this is like some people just write text as outline, but a lot of people just have a list of things they want to say, and then you could convert that into a basic set of slides to start. And then you start adding details, right? And then you might figure out that you're missing something to have your talk make sense. And for that, maybe you need to take away something, and then you have basically the layout of your talk, or the basic working of your talk. And then comes the time for polishing. You probably already did some part of that, but now you really have to see how is it working for you. You should start presenting now if you haven't done that already, and just practice the talk in front of an audience, in front of like an empty room is also good at the beginning. And you can start presenting to an audience once you have a lot of material, or enough material, or like a chapter done. But at the beginning, you maybe just start giving it to yourself, to an empty room, to see how you like the flow, how you want to do things differently maybe. And then the extra content you have, try to keep that around. Bonus slides, which you basically have at the end of your slides, is always a very good thing to have. But think about what should be of your content there. One thing to have in mind is like that when you practice, you get a feeling for, how your talk actually works, and how your feeling within the talk is. And then you kind of, have your talk produced, which then basically brings you into the fine tuning. You practice your talk now. Your talk is a presentation, right? It's a slide deck. Practicing will make you confident. Delivery at a conference is very different. You have a room of people ahead, you're nervous. You might be faster, you might be slower. That is fine, but try to plan for both. you might need to speed up at the end of your talk when you spent too much time there. Then the whole topic of people asking you questions during your talk, that can be a big time eater, especially like when people start a discussion in your talk. If you didn't plan for that, or you don't, or you know that you don't have a lot of time left at the end for questions, you might want to tell people that you want to carry on with your talk instead of having a discussion about the last slide and some typo or some random person. Sometimes it happens. Just be aware about that. And then I want to stress that as Robert said, this is an iterative process. You should go through these steps more than once. You should maybe go multiple times usually. And conference talks are usually then polished, and also this process is like basically repeated after you gave the talk at the conference and you maybe giving it at another conference. Then you incorporate the feedback, what you received from the audience, the questions you had. Maybe someone tells, well, on that slide is a typo, which we all have everywhere. So that's just normal.